All right, over here on the right side of the map, the lava-infested, dark, doomful Mordor side of dual sight. I guess lava can't really infest anything, but oh well.
Lava infested.
OGS top for those of you guys that didn't catch it because I don't think they played the sound. Or did I just miss it?
They did. Oh, it was quiet though.
Okay. Here is MVP Genius. Oh, okay, yeah, it's just quiet. Genius up a game here. What do you think, Wolf? More Void Rays?
It's entirely possible. I like Genius
before he won GSL August.
That's really clever. Oh, look at that
now.
wink there. I like that.
Making the claim now, and you know, if he does win it, then that guy will be able to be like, dude, I'm a hipster about
Someone better
Genius.
screen cap that.
Genius hipster.
Top fighting.
Yeah. So this is a 2-player map. Both players scouting each other. Genius scouting a little bit earlier. So he's actually going to be able to get his probe there before...
Yeah, he should be able to, oh, no, because the depot block came down for top. He's not going to be able to get in there.
No, I was going to say before the Marine, but yeah, the depot is going to block it. So still not going to be able to get any information.
Scantipede trying to look too, but you can't see either.
Silly Scantipede.
And usually when you see the fast second depot to block, you can expect a 1 barracks expand, but you can't know for sure. So it's a very, you know, the probe's kind of curious now. It's
well,
like,
it's either going to be a 1 racks expand or it's going to be like a 3 racks all in or something.
Yeah, something sneaky. Well,
but usually you're right. Usually it's just protecting an expansion because you're trying to make them think, oh, maybe they're going to go all in me. I need to get a bunch of defense, and then you waste money on defense because they're just expanding. And there is no gas, so we are not going to see any kind of early attacks from I almost called him Stop because I looked at his name.
Hog Stop, that's what people are calling him.
Stop.
Stalker and Warp Gate research coming out here for Genius. Commands are being made for top. Now, it might be tempting for Genius to do another Void Ray all in because he is kind of addicted. And he sees the wall off. There's a barracks in the wall. There's 2 depots there as well.
He's chemically dependent on it.
He knows that his opponent's most likely going for 1 racks expand. And, you know, that's kind of one of those cravings that you get. When you see the wall off. You know
there's the Stargate.
There it is, man. On the production tab. He's doing it. He's too addicted, all right? He's going to have to get a Stargate patch, okay?
They're going to have to patch Genius.
I just meant like he had to wear a patch on his arm that like makes it so he gets his like fix on the Stargate.
But that word has 2 meanings, Wolf. Now, here's the thing. If he keeps that command center in his base and just uses it to drop extra mules and starts building a lot of units off of his 3 racks, he could be pretty good against this.
Yeah, not only that, he's moved his barracks back away from the wall so it can't be used to charge. Of course, the depot still can, but the barracks is back. He's making a tech lab. He's going to want to get stem in. Look at this. This time he's making a bunker. Oh, he sees the gateways. He knows what's going on. He's making a bunker. I don't think Top's going to fall for this twice. I mean, he didn't really fall for it last game, but he's going to be way more prepared this game than he was last game. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, definitely. The bunker is going up. That's going to help out a lot.
Oh, he even catches the probe. It's going to build a pylon. He knows it's going to be there. Probe gets away, though.
Probe gets away, but there's not going to be an extra pylon right there to make it so that you can easily warp in reinforcements to support the rush.
Yeah.
He, of course, does build that pylon not too far away.
The warp gate research is done now. If he had made the first pylon, he would have already been warping in the 3 units. Now he has to wait for the pylon to finish. Void Ray is going to join up with the Stalker and the Sentry at the pylon. They've met up. They've planned this out. Top making a second bunker.
Wow.
Even putting his Marines on the side to make sure that no Void Rays sneak over there. He doesn't want to get warp ends up onto his high ground like that.
He's getting stim as well. And once stim comes in, he's going to be able to really do well against this attack.
Yeah, when the stim comes out, Genius is going to have to press that G key. And I'm not talking about Guardian Shield. Now here comes the Void Ray. The Void Ray is just trying to... He was kind of curious if there were Marines in that bunker. There weren't, but now there are. He's going to poke at this depot. That's all he can really do.
Give up the depot and just like be like, all right, I'm going to sack the depot and then I can defend.
Now again,
get spot shots. Oh, nice force field.
Genius is making a Nexus again, like last game. He didn't do a warp in, so he is trying to expand by this. He's not doing it all in. Top is supply blocked. Starport is on the way, but this is such a... He's made such a commitment to this attack.
I like how he...
Spot. Sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. What were you saying?
I was just going to say top's going to be a good spot after this. And look at this. He gets the SCV in here.
Oh, wow.
Ugh.
He's like, oh, I spotted his target. Whoa, he's prodding in at that bunker. Might need to get some SCVs over there. I like how he's using the force fields to actually stop him from like escaping from
Yes,
the ground
beautiful
units.
micro by Genius. He's just picking off Marines. He hasn't lost any units yet.
Yeah, and again, that one Void Ray, that's all he made was one Void Ray. You're just keeping it safe and using it to deal extra damage and just kind of use its range to prod here.
Yeah, find the little sweet spot, poke
Stim
at the
is
depot.
almost complete though.
But remember, a lot of Top's Marines are on low hit points from that little skirmish, so not all of them can stim, and if they do, they're going to be on very low hit points, so he has to be very careful. He has to stim at the right moment.
Yeah, he may wait for the 2 medevacs to come out. They're going to be out in about 20 seconds, and then he'll be able to really do just fine against this. Second Void Ray.
Yep.
Wait.
No, it's just one Void Ray. We're like, whoa, where did that Void Ray come from?
Oh, it snuck
Oh
around.
no,
Oh
Stim's
no, he's
done.
going to lose it.
He like wants
Stim
to...
is done. He wants to get that Void Ray. Is he going to? He's probably going to kill it.
Yeah, he will kill it.
Yes,
But
kills
forced
the
a
Void
lot
Ray.
of Marines to stim.
But the 2 medevacs are out, so he can just heal those back up pretty easily, actually.
Making a Ghost Academy, realizing he's about to get force field contained here. Got to get that Ghost Academy out to help deal with this. Usually you need either tanks or Ghost Academy for that. Genius going up to 6 gates. Added a forge. He's getting +1 armor right now.
I wonder why he doesn't just ferry his troops to the low ground on the bottom.
The scary thing about doing that when someone goes Stargate play though is if your Void Ray, if Phoenixes or Void Rays catch your medevacs, then you lose so many units, so you have to be very careful about it. It looks like he's just going to go for it though.
Yep.
And you know, if he attacks from 2 sides, Genius is not going to have enough force fields to stop that army.
Yeah, he just... Oh, and actually, what's he doing? He stims his army.
Stims it.
As he's trying to escape, he's... Oh, going to get 2 sentries immediately.
sentries.
He's getting the 4th. He's going to get the 4th sentry. That is huge. Remember, last game, after Top held it off, Genius saved all of his sentries, and they played a crucial role in every battle after that. This time, he snaps those sentries. They do not escape, so Genius is actually behind in supply now as well.
He lost his contain. Top's got his command center up. He's got a huge, scary army he's going to attack with. It's going to be very difficult for Genius to hold this. His charge is about 3/4 of the way done. It should be finished by the time he gets there if he chronos it one more time. He's got a lot of zealots, but remember there are medevacs, there's stim, there's combat shields. I don't know if he can hold this. He does have +1 armor, +2 is on the way. Top has +1 attack though for his infantry.
Yeah. Here's the thing though, charge is almost finished.
Yeah.
For Genius, and that is going to make his zealots far more effective. He actually has a ton of zealots. His army is primarily zealots, and when
Top
they,
didn't go
when they
for
can
it.
get in there really quickly and do some damage, they can do very well against Marines. Harder to kite.
2 ghosts are out. There aren't very many sentries to EMP. In fact, there are no sentries to EMP.
Yeah.
EMP not very effective against zealots, but even so, it does make a pretty big difference.
Yeah, and people always talk about the armor being so good on zealots because with the Guardian Shield alongside, they take very little damage from Marines. But you know what? You need sentries to Guardian Shield, man.
You do, and these medevacs get a little ahead of themselves.
Whoa, watch out, medevacs.
Might get poked. You gotta get those stalkers behind the zealots. Well, he should be, but he's not.
Getting ready.
Way more.
He's going to EMP the whole army and then stim in. Nice EMP on most of the zealots. He's stimming, and here he's able to kite those zealots, but not as well because of the charge. But he's doing so much damage. Stalker's actually killing medevacs in the background.
Oh man, this is not looking good for Top.
Slowly and steadily, the force of
Medevacs
zealots
are
is
falling,
dwindling.
and he's running low on hit points. So are the zealots, but it doesn't matter. They're just doing enough here. Genius is going to clean up this entire force.
Wow. And that is the power of charge, ladies and gentlemen.
Meanwhile, 2 Marines kill a pylon. The zealots warp in at the pylon and kill the Marines. Well, funny little situation there.
It was kind of interesting.
Well, supply is relatively even, although Genius has charge. He's got +2 armor. He's got Templar Archives on the way.
Yeah.
And I'm really impressed with this hold there. I think Top waited just a little bit too long.
Yeah, if he'd attacked before charge, he would have won the game.
Yeah. And I really expected him to just hit right when charge was finishing at the very least. And that warp in of like 6 zealots turned the tide of the battle as well.
Yeah, yeah.
He waited just a little bit too long.
But Templar Archives is almost complete, so he's going to be able to start getting Templar out. I'm curious if he's going to go for Storm or if he's just going to make Archons. And a little bit of a drop coming in here.
That photon cannon not going to finish.
Ill-fated cannon, but also an ill-fated drop as these zealots charge in.
Gets the pylon, doesn't lose any units.
Oh, that was cool,
Nice.
actually. I didn't expect him to be that effective. I was like, oh, that drop's gonna die. Why is he targeting the pylon? But got the pylon, get out alive. Nicely done.
Now, Zealots are checking around the map for those drop ships. He's trying to find where it landed. He's going to find it, though. Archon's coming out here. No Storm just yet. They found the drop, but unfortunately one Zealot does not beat a dropship full of units.
I like the building placement there. Making a little wall. Genius is so Zealot heavy that if he holds behind those depots, the Zealots just will not be able to do too much good.
Look how many Archons that is.
A ton
And in
of
fact,
Archons, actually.
there are 3 Ghosts on the field, but he has stopped Ghost production since then. He is getting Cloak for his Ghosts.
Actually,
And Genius doesn't have a robotics facility.
huh.
So that's going to be pretty effective against these Archons.
Yep, he's getting a planetary in his third as well, although hold that thought, he's going in, trying to get another pylon snipe. He's forced back this time. But yeah, positioning is going to be really important here because Top is getting a planetary at that third, but Genius could easily just take it out. Archons and Zealots just targeting it down, and the planetary can take it out very quickly.
Look at that, so many more Zealots being whipped in here. They do have +2 armor, +1 weapons, whereas 2-2 is just on the way for Top. He's only at 1-1 right now. Third base being attacked as Top actually drops the third, next, and the main at the same time.
Oh, nice.
Forcing a split up of these units, but the cannon buys a lot of time for Genius. Warps and some more Zealots here. Dropship has to retreat, but Top has done a lot with that one little dropship. He's never lost any of the units inside of it. Hasn't done a significant amount of damage, but he's bought a lot of time.
Yeah, exactly. That's the critical thing, is that he's bought a lot of time to get Cloak up, to get some more Ghosts out, to get his third planetary up, get that running with his SCVs.
Trying to catch up on upgrades.
Exactly. Well, you can't really catch up on upgrades to a Protoss.
No, it's not possible.
Until they're
+3. +3 armor is almost done for Genius. Another little drop here, killing a lot of probes. Genius isn't reacting. He's losing all of his probes here. And a drop in the main at the same time.
And it looks like that drop's going to get out alive. That's the problem with not having Stalkers.
The ideal drops, you really do have to have the perfect mix. Look at that. Dropping on the low ground, attacking that Stargate. There are a lot of units out for Genius. He doesn't have Storm. He hasn't even started researching it. Just wants to use these Templar as Archons, and he's actually deserted this base. Part of the problem with not having Dark Templar tech, use that Dark Templar tech to clean up drops like this a lot of the time. Looks like he is going to finally, maybe, no.
Nope. Or even if he had High Templar.
Look at that,
You know,
get that pylon.
Even if he had High Templar to feed back the medevacs or storm the units or anything like that, those are good for fending off drops as well, but he doesn't have any of that. And I was complimenting Top on his building placement area with the depots, but he doesn't actually have them in that good of a spot where the battle's going to happen. The battle's either going to happen at his third, or, yeah, probably going to happen at his third. He doesn't have anything over there, but another drop going down. Genius is finally like, all right, you know what, screw it. I'm not going to run back home this time.
He's at the going point,
go.
man. There are a lot of Ghosts out. There are 8 Ghosts out. They do have
There's
Cloak.
like a dozen Archons. That is so big. But if he EMPs all those Archons, they will be virtually useless. EMPs going off over everything. There's no High Templar. He stims and everything getting EMP'd. Those Archons going down with virtually no damage done. Oh my gosh.
That was pretty silly. And
that was disgusting. And there's
was
the
terrible.
GG for Genius.
That one drop in the main was just cleaning up the entire main of Genius. The drop at the third killed all the probes and the Nexus during that attack. And Genius, he just had that moment. Like we saw yesterday, spoiler alert for those of you guys who didn't watch yesterday, when Rinky was playing against Ganji, there was that game where Ganji could have still won, but he was just like, I just can't think, and he just goes for it. It's what I like to call the going point, where you're just like, there's too much going on, and he keeps dropping me there, I just need to go.
Yeah.
And he went, and there were so many Ghosts there, man, it just didn't matter.
Genius
the Archons are bumping into depots, they weren't able to attack.
Exactly. No, it's like Genius was like not patient. He was like frustrated. He's like, oh my god, you keep dropping.
Yeah, he's just frustrated.
I'm just going to A-move through a small choke with 10 Ghosts there, and all I have are units that are killed by Ghosts.
Yeah, he's
Are all he has. Yeah, but he just, and you got to hand it to Top, though, being incessant. Dropping that third over and over and over and over and over and over again. dropping the main over and over again
and
as
then
well.
dropping the main and then dropping on the low ground, then attacking the pile, and then lifting up and then dropping again, then lifting up and dropping again. Over and over and over
Being
again
like
with that one drop.
Super annoying.
Never died, man. Each one of those Marauders had like 8 kills.
Probably. Or maybe more with all those probes that went down.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
yeah, he's just like, I'm just going to attack. And didn't have High Templar.
He didn't have storms at all, yeah.
He couldn't storm.
Top had a concave. He was like trying to go through this choke point with these big bulky Archons that got EMP'd. It was a bad attack.
Exactly. It was a really bad attack. He didn't have the right units to deal with what Top had, and Top actually had the perfect units to deal with what Genius had. Like, even if he'd had a few High Templar, even without Storm, to try and, like, feed back those ghosts, if he'd feed back the ghosts, that could have gone a lot differently, but EMP just made those Archons worthless. We're going to take a quick break. The series is tied up. You do not want to miss who is going to bring their side to a lead. See you in a few.
Vivo en peligro.